Hey everybody, welcome back to another chess video. And just like all the videos I've been making in the past however long, it's going to be another checkmate video. Actually, what do I want to do today? I think for practice today, I want to go back to what I was doing the previous couple of days, or for however long. Yesterday I did kind of a speed session with very simple or slightly easier checkmating puzzles. But today I'm just gonna go back to the classic. I'm gonna study on reading the board, and I'm going to play for quality. And yeah, we're just gonna do all the good stuff. Don't necessarily feel like taking it too quickly today. So if that's the case, let's do what we've been doing, where we go back in the puzzle, which I feel like is a great asset for a lot of these newer chess or puzzle trainers. Let's go back to like move 8. Actually, this is a really short game, so let's see where we were. Looks like we're doing okay. This is already interesting. I didn't expect whatever this is. I feel like this move is, yeah, I don't know. We gotta look at this again. How did this happen? Oh, okay, Scandi declined. Okay. I rarely play against Scandi, and I don't usually decline it, so this is all very new to me. Very interesting. A little takey-takey. Uh-huh. Okay. This position very much feels like, what is that one? That's not the Slav. What is the one? The Caro-Kann? Is that the Caro-Kann? Let's take a look. Caro-Kann? Caro-Kann. Oops. Caro-Kann. Defense? No. That's what I was thinking of. That's the Caro-Kann. And then the Slav defense is... No? Wait, what? Now I'm confused. What in the shit is going on? Oh, that's the Caro-Kann. Okay, yes. Okay. So what am I thinking of? What is the one where it's e4 and then c6? I guess I can just look it up. e4, c6. What defense is it? Oh, that's the Caro-Kann. Wait. Yes, okay. Caro-Kann and then push the e-pawn. Yes, okay. Yes, alright, it was a Caro-Kann. Wow. I never realized from the black side how much it kind of looks like the Slav at a certain point. Anyway, shows how much I know about anything. On the white side, yeah, this is like if you do Caro-Kann and push out the pawn. Yeah, you don't have that though. This is very interesting. Let's keep on moving on. Let's keep on moving on. That's a thing. So we're putting the bishop out there, getting that bishop activated. King goes queenside. Okay, castling queenside. Getting the knight out there. Pushing the queen back, or I mean the bishop back now. Bishop to g3. That's a very aggressive kingside attack, and I think it's working pretty well. It actually looks very, very good. Got the queen already in there. Even if white sacrifices, you got 2 pawns still pushing down. You got the rook. This can be adjusted. This can probably come here. I guess we'll see. Alright, a little bit of a defensive maneuver, I guess. Making a little room for the bishop there. Take. King can't castle on any point, so this is weak. I'm surprised he didn't just take there. That seems pretty good. I guess there's that. So, yeah, those are pretty scary squares to be on. I guess white's going to castle queenside as well. Okay. Now the queen takes. Alright, another pawn has been taken. Can't shoo it off now. Well, you can, I guess. You have enough pieces controlling the f1, so maybe it won't be that bad. Ah, king moving was justified as that knight was pinned. Putting some pressure on the bishop, but I think the bishop can just take. Oh, okay, taking that way and then opening it up back later. Alright. Knight says no, I don't want to play this game. This knight is now left hanging. Knight's taken. Okay, some kind of pawn thing going on there. In between pawn take move, and this is where we are. I would say I was pretty happy with it seemed like I was pretty happy with where black was in this game. It feels like they broke the king side down very, very well. His pieces are active, but so are white's. And white's got this diagonal. I'm very afraid if this knight ever moves, the bishop on d3, pinning the queen. Oof. Oof, that would be a headache, but there is a rook as well, so until black has more control of that d3 square, it's probably not wise to do that. What else? What else? Black definitely has more pawns. He has 2 pass pawns and a pawn majority on the king's side. Oh, I didn't even see this pawn. So yeah. Well, I guess 1 pass pawn and another one that's almost passed. A lot of open squares for a bunch of bishops and rooks to play. White is down a minor piece as well. So, yeah, being down a bishop on this open board I feel like is kind of a weakness. But I guess we'll see. I guess it's not really a weakness. So, the first thing I see is that we're not really under threat here. With the double rooks on the back rank, the bishop here, I don't feel too bad right now. I feel like we're in a okay place. We're not terrible. So if we're looking at what we can do on the opposite side, the first move I see is knight to b6 check. No flight square there because the knight holds. This pawn can't take because of this queen, but this pawn can. But if pawn takes here, thanks to this diagonal, we can do queen takes c7. So if we do knight b6 check, pawn takes, then it's an immediate checkmate with queen. So let's take a look at what black might do instead, which is just move. If black moves to that square, I can still take with the queen. There's still nothing else controlling this c7 square except for the king. King will have to move rush 1 more, but the knight would be stopping him from doing so. So either way, it looks like a checkmate very easily. Knight to b6 check, king to b8, queen takes c7. Any blockers, anything that can... Nope. Okay, so let's just go with that. And then yes. Awesome. So either way, it was a 2-move thing. Okay. Well, let's go back on the board. We only have 19 moves again. This is pretty crazy. Let's quickly go through the game. Looks like we're doing Italian. Okay. This is very standard looking. I think earlier on you're able to just castle early if you want. I don't think this is too bad. I don't know. There's other things going on, so I think it's fine. And put the knight out to block that. Right. See, this is even more of a pain. I feel like it'd have been better to maybe do this earlier or something. Anyway. Alright, you're gonna have double pawns. Oh, okay. So, doing an in-between move here, gambiting a knight. We got that open file. The king has not, what is it, castled yet. Some potentials there. I would really like some kind of potential here. Let's see what happens. Okay, bishop is like, I'm satisfied with taking a knight. We'll go into a knight takes trade, but no, we're using another move to pin this knight. At this point, do you castle? He castles, then we take the knight. Okay, I thought he was going to take this knight first. I was thinking, take this knight. If takes that way, then queen takes rook, rook takes queen, queen, and then we get mated. Nice, back rank mated. Okay, so that was a terrible idea on my part. So he castles. We take that knight. Knight on c6 moves. Putting some pressure on my bishop. Bishop has a nice place to move back to while coordinating with the rook. d6 opening up another possible pinario. Oh, but I guess there was always the rook to take. Rook moves down one more. What is he thinking about? I'm not exactly sure yet. I'm not quite knowledgeable about these maneuvers. Opening some more pawns up, leaving the tension, starting a diagonal battery, opening that up so that he doesn't lose a pawn, forcing the knight to move. Doesn't have a lot of squares. That looks like a free knight to me. Ah, but the rook's been taken. Okay, so that's why you don't just haphazardly open things up. Queen, the black queen is now in the game. This pawn is not defended. The rook has come for some fun, hoping that potentially he can open up some kind of line here. Maybe? We'll see. Queen takes the pawn. Alright, sacrificing the bishop now. Rook has a nice position here. There's a lot of nice juicy pieces. Bishop comes back to defend. And okay, so there are a couple of things to look at here. No lift on my side, so some kind of back-end mate threat is a possibility, but currently right now there aren't any back rank squares that this queen can get to. Both of the rooks aren't active, nor are on the active file, so we don't have to worry about the back rank mate anyway. And if they want to use this file, they're going to have to double up because of the knight. So that is one thing. Next thing to think about is, if I'm not in danger, what would I be doing? Seems like white is very intent on focusing the aggression onto this point. We can do one check here. King would have to move. But as soon as we come back, and I would want to probably come back to e4 just to kind of, if my rook was going to get taken, trade it with the queen using the bishop. Check. Bishop to h7 check, king to h8, bishop comes back to e4, check from the rook. Bishop takes. And then I don't really see an opportunity at that point. So that I don't think is the right way to go. if the queen was the piece in front of the bishop, this would be a no-brainer. Alternatively, I'm thinking maybe something like rook to h7, but that doesn't actually start anything quite yet. Rook to h8 check, king is forced to take. But then I don't have anything on the dark diagonals to use for this. Another possible idea is bring the knight in. But again, I don't easily see any kind of mating pattern here. Bishop to h7, king to h8. Where does the bishop want to go back to? Bishop to g8. King either has to take or bishop has to take. If king takes, queen comes in. That's checkmate. If bishop takes, then queen comes in. Bishop's still alive. That's checkmate. Wow. There must be a name for this mating pattern. I don't know what it is, but this is stupendous. Let's just read through it again to make sure I'm not a crazy person. Bishop to h7, check. King only has one square he can go to, h8. Then bishop to g8, and king has, or the black has two possibilities. Bishop takes, getting rid of the checking threat, but then queen comes in coordination with the bishop that's still around, and king has no place to go. That's checkmate. Or king takes, and then queen comes in, coordinating with the rook, and there's no way to block that either. Wow, that's cool. I think I learned something today. Oh my gosh. Wow, I honestly didn't know about that one. That's a cool one. I wonder what the name of that is. Let's see. Ooh, haha! Today I opened up this page just in case that we would need it again, as we're focusing on mates forever, ever and ever and ever. So I wonder if this specific idea of a diagonal battery with the rook exists. It's kinda... no. Like, man, how would you even describe this mate? It's kind of crazy. Pillsbury-ish? Kind of. I didn't know this was called a box mate. Weird. Not a smothered mate, not a suffocating mate, definitely not swallow's tail. Ooh, what's this? Outline of chess. Checking patterns. Wiki has such a weird chess collection of knowledge that's sometimes wrong or outdated. I love it. Checkmate patterns. Okay. Back rank checkmate. Bishop knight checkmate. This is just such a random collection of mates. For sure. Classic Scholar's mate. Oh, that image looks good. Smothered mate. We know what that is. That's so weird. Ooh, what is this? Stamma's mate. What is a stamma mate? Rare checkmates. In some rare prints, forced checkmate with the king and a knight versus the king and pawn. Oh, for sure. Yes. Okay. That's what a stamma's mate is. Right on. Let's see here. Unusual mates. Where are we right now? What is this place? Is this just chess tactics in general? Checkmate. So there's a checkmate pattern list, and then there's another checkmate page. Seems like both of those could be consolidated. 3 knights, mate? Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. 2 and 3 knights. 2 knights. Okay, well, we didn't learn anything about the name there, but that was indeed a very cool puzzle. Next tactic. Oh, we were playing on difficulty level normal too. We've been playing on hard recently, but normal seems to be fine and challenging enough, so let's keep on going with that. And since this is a longer game, let's not go too far in. Just kind of read the board at the middle of the game, see what's going on. It's still pretty late in the game, it seems like. A lot of trading either happened early on or, yeah, I mean, it must have. So let's look here. Looks like they broke open my the queen side fairly early. We got 2 rooks. They're active. They're on a file. They're looking healthy and strong. This rook is guarding the g3 square. If rook takes rook, now there is all sorts of scary possibilities that are starting to form. So that's not great for him or her. White, them. It's probably the best pronoun to use there. Let's see. They have an active bishop. Just a light squared bishop. Not going to come in contact with ours. And as long as we make sure not to bother him, he should be relatively, whatchamacallit? Sedentary? That's not the word. I don't know what the word is. Ungrateful. That's also not what I was thinking of. Let's see here. Their rook is pretty passive. They can get on the B file though. That will be good. I have to watch out for back rank because I don't have Luft. And when I do create Luft, it's going to be on a white diagonal, so I have to be careful of some kind of bishop threats that will destroy my Luft. His king's a bit exposed, so I think there's going to be some possibilities. I'm liking this. I'm not scared at any point right now. I feel like there are possibilities of attack, so let's move on. I thought this was a puzzle situation. We should just keep on going from here. Queen moves over to defend with the rook, a little bit better on the coordination. This bishop is still kind of out of the way, forcing the bishop to make some choices. Oh, bishop has found a nice home right there. That is quite a beautiful home. Queen's going to have to move. Queen joins a battery. Semi-successful gun there. Alright, rook goes to the B file as we have wanted. King is now gonna have to move on to the back rank. Is that bad though? He has a queen and a rook, so he has ample defense. Instead decides to block this way with the rook. Hoping for the rook exchange. Okay, making Luft, pushing pawns. Not really sure what this idea was. He does command the tempo still, so maybe he's just waiting for the trade. Maybe he just waiting for the trade. That's English-ish. Move that I'd like to see, probably something like this, something like that. But then there's that, so gotta be careful. Alright, now there are 2 rooks here. We're gonna have to trade down a rook, most likely, or run away with it. Doesn't look like there are a lot of safe flight squares, though. We can put pressure on the queen up there if we want. That's what we decide to do. Queen is now pressured, so she's going to have to join on that second rank as well. Nice coordination with that bishop. Another queen to the party. I feel like this seems kind of scary, but there's 3 attackers here and 3 defenders, so I guess that's possible. Okay. Forcing things lines this way. Rook back to f3. Does queen move back? Queen is now on the back rank. Very, very good potential for some shenanigans coming now. Okay, putting all of your pieces in one interesting basket. They're probably hoping for a rook f1, and then he'll have two defenders there, so that's pretty good. Rook is moving out of the way to probably let this last rook in, but this rook, white says no, let's start trading. And says no, 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 you only have one attacker there, let me keep my big guns on the back rank. White continues to try and defend. Black doesn't necessarily have anything right now. So black's still gonna have to look for some kind of tricky scenario to open things up, bringing in the bishop to do so. It'll be interesting to see what the bishop has in store here. Okay. The white keeps on wanting to trade the rooks. That makes sense. This is now becoming an increasing threat possibility. If this pawn isn't here, this is becoming very, very back rankish. Here we go. Bishop's trying to take to go in for a back ranked mate. And then bishop comes in. Bishop, what are you doing here? Queen can't take because there's bishop. And then takes. Yeah. So it's still okay-ish right now. Bishop's just going on with the moves. Going on with the moves. That's a pretty good move. There's an imminent back rank mate about to happen. So this is where we are, and let's take a look at the position. We got 6 pawns here, 4 pawns on dark or black side. And we have equal pieces. However, I would say we are both in very precarious situations. In a real game, would I be looking for a tactic? No, I'd probably consider this position lost and just give up. Because I'm a little coward. I mean, if I got this far, I'd probably play it out, though. But, yeah, I mean, imminent back rank mate about to happen, so I need to look for some counter potentials, either by sacking pieces or something or other, right? This would be one way to try. Rook to here. Rook has to take, and then we'd be a queen versus a queen and a bishop. That doesn't look good. So let's see what we have. Let's see what we have. First thing, it has to be forcing. So there are 2 ways to force right now, right? We have rook to here, but that can be taken by multiple different pieces. Rook to h1 to be taken by either the king or the queen. And we also have the bishop takes case. The bishop takes case is interesting. If king takes, then hopefully we can force a trade between the king and the queen this way. Oh, no. Instead of doing that, there's queen takes here, and then the king would be dovetailed in. So that's quite good. So let's not take with the king. If that happens, if the queen takes on g3 after bishop takes g3, then we have rook takes. King's gonna have to forcefully move, and then queen comes in, reducing flight squares. King can go over here. So instead of the queen going directly to g1, the queen could also go to, f1 instead, blocking all of his flight squares. And the only flight square for him would be g3, which is taken by the queen. So to show that without all the crazy, unnecessary lines, bishop takes g3, queen takes g3, rook to h1 check, king to g1 or g2, and then queen to h1, and that would be, oh wow, that would be mate, as all of these squares are controlled and the queen sits there. Let's see, are there any alternatives? Bishop takes, Can the king move anywhere? No, there are no flight squares. So yeah, it's either of those options, and both of those options look pretty damn good. So I guess this is the option we're going with. Okay. Very good, very good. That was a fun one. That's a very interesting game. Enjoyed that quite a bit. I think I have... What time is it? I have plenty of time. I can do a couple more puzzles as long as they don't take too long, because I'm not very good. This is 23 moves. Let's start at the opening. Alright, well, I think black's trying to play an actual real game, and white is just a hippo. I guess this isn't hippo, is it? No. It's kind of hippo-ish. Is this dragon? I don't know what this is. I'm really curious as to know what this game is. After we do this puzzle, I need to know the name of this opening, because I'm not very good with opening names, especially weird exotic things like this. So, thinking about it from a just normal standpoint, or I mean, not a normal standpoint, but from a standpoint of foundational chess, white is giving up mid-control for a hyper-modern kind of thing. I don't know why I said the word hyper-modern. And why can't it just be modern? Probably because modern means playing safe chess. Openings with that. I don't know. We always talk about hyper-modern defenses. Whatever happened to the modern defenses? Is Italian game in a modern defense? Spanish game in Italian, or I mean modern defense? Huh. 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 Are you guys curious? I'm curious. Hyper modern versus modern chess. What's the main difference between classical, modern, and hyper modern? So location, location, location. Comment deleted by user. I wonder if he was talking about out of his ass. Trask and Nimzovich was about, and you get an idea, as opposed to one was the era to distinguish between romantic, while money became tied to winning, suddenly it was more to win than putting good sporting show. Obviously, modern has no relation to the state of chess development like classical and hypermodern. You could say 50s and 80s were the Soviet school era, interrupted by Tal, who showed that Botvinnik's approach wasn't the only one. Also by Larson, who showed how much wiggle room for creativity and new ways there are still left. Funnily enough, in the 60s and 70s, America turned out to be the godfather of Soviet school, succeeded by Karpov. In the 80s, the era of dynamic and preparation began, carried out by Kasparov. Increased use of machines, succeeded by Anand, of course. God Anand. During this era, we gained some insight into how concrete chess actually is. Starting with Kramnik's Berlin Wall match against Kasparov, and then with Magnus' parents. Oh. Wow, that guy was really talking out of his ass. Great. Maybe decades from 1930s until Botvinnik's rule could be classified in an era of orientation in which hypermoderns were over. Steinitz and Tarrasch were underappreciated. Even Alekhine. That's a proper way to say this name, and it boggles my mind. Alekhine. And a solid guy like Capablanca seemed to assume that hypermoderns were just right, and the classics just limited. Despite the Hopper pushing misguided views like E4 is crap and best response with E6. It's a not so exciting world championship between Alekhine and Capablanca, in which they play Queen's Gambit Decline exclusively. Very, very good. Very good. Classical. Pawn center is strength. Hypermodern. Pawn center is a target. Modern. What we know now. Huh. That isn't a great way to name things. I'll place the split on the focus between classical, control and center with hypermodern. Ready opening. As for modern, I think this is more in terms of a modern era versus romantic era. Okay, so there's not necessarily any kind of school of thought on modern defenses compared to classical or hyper modern. Saying hyper modern is just, I hate it. I don't know why. Especially if there's no modern. It makes me angrier. That's like ill definitions. But it seems to happen a lot in a lot of endeavors, right? In architecture, there's modern, postmodern, and you would think there's some kind of progressive line there, but there isn't. It's just a difference of styles and opinions. Oftentimes, postmodern is to counter what happened in the modern era, so it's not necessarily like building off of the eras before that either. And then music has that as well. The modern era of music seems to be from all the way from, I don't know, post-industrial era until now, which is crazy. We call now contemporary era. I don't know. I don't know anything. What do I know? I know bullshit. Anyway, so we have black taking a more classical stance, whereas white is doing something very hyper-modern here. Opening up both of the bishops for fianchettos. Black's just playing solid, putting pieces out there for development, hoping to find some weaknesses, taking more center control. If given, why not? White says, where does your bishop actually want to be? What are you trying to do here? Are you trying to get yourself stuck on the back, or are you going to move back to the center? Okay, so we move back to the center here. Probably we're hoping for some kind of this kind of push from black. If I was black, that's what I would want. We're doubling up, so we're either going to have to defend in some fashion. We decide to defend that way, but now we can't move our knight to f6, which would have been very nice in controlling that e4 square. This move looks kind of similar to the black side on the King's Indian, where with this move you can possibly attack the center structure from either c4 or e4, but of course on the other side it'd be all sorts of different, wouldn't it? Anyway, but yeah, so that's interesting. Let's see which way they decide to push and create tension. Queen's coming out. Interesting. Probably to take a free pawn once the king castles on the king's side over on white's part of the board. Okay, he's pushing c4 to open it up. Let's see how black responds. Okay, alright. Decides to keep the tension, doesn't need to take it away, doesn't need to move anything. He has two defenders. There's only one attacker right now. So I guess trying to maybe get the knight onto g6 might be good. White destroys that tension, taking the center. Ooh, very nice, very nice. I didn't realize that this knight was also defending. How silly of me. But that's great. The knight has a very beautiful mid-center home, controlling even further squares on white's side. I don't know how that helps anything. Maybe a3, b4? Get a knight on here? I don't know. Let's keep watching. Okay. Well, black is ready to play. He can castle anytime, so now he's going to try to start pushing for more control on white's castling side. Developing the other knight on white square. Castle has gone up. Still waiting for this to take. Okay. Alright, here we go. That makes a lot of sense. Just controlling the square here. That limits black's bishop onto some pretty claustrophobic squares there. Alright. Pushing for more control in space. Gonna ask some tense questions, possibly. There's a lot of things that can happen. Rook's coming out on the queen side. I feel like white's pieces are a little bit too passive right now. They don't control a lot. And yeah, there's too much play on that side. Like, this rook moving to this half-open file, I'm not really even worried right now. Okay, well, let's move on. Okay. Yeah, black's just pushing on the king's side. He can't even castle anyway. Let's just break that side. Okay, that's very nice. That's a pretty decent place to be. I feel like there's going to be a pawn push very soon. This looks very, very good as well. Might have to sack a bishop for that very strong knight. There could be this, but then the defense on that knight becomes fairly weak. So gotta be careful there. Alright, well, we're just going with more pawns. Right on, dude. I mean, there's always a trade possible, so he doesn't care right now. Oh. Good way to take back. Trying to keep some semblance of control over on this side. Okay, well, let's see what happens. Oh! Oh, right. The file has been opened. So the rook is now in the game. Lost a pawn there. Oh, and then a little bit of a double, what is it? Trying to distract the defender for the rook, but the pawn can take. Yep. And then queen comes in to try and do some countermeasure stuff. I don't know why you didn't take the rook. Maybe was too afraid to. Going for some quick counterplay, some hya. Really need a defense there. Uh-oh. Rook's focusing on the wrong thing. Okay. A bit more counterplay. Okay. Am I nuts? Is this not incredibly winning at this point? I guess there's queen drops, or queen drops something, right? I guess it's not that bad. So like queen takes, queen moves out. Take the rook. Queen takes. Check again. Or check. Make a move. This bishop, if it could come out somehow. But, well, we decide to wait. White decides to wait on that counter and take that rook. Losing too many pieces on that side, I guess. Okay, and king moves to defend this pawn. White is just kind of gambiting all his pieces, looking for potential. Alright. I'm not exactly sure what that's about. What's wrong with takes? Aren't you ahead? Seems like you're pretty ahead. Are you not ahead? You're ahead. Weird. Okay. This is becoming a serious threat now. You're letting too many pieces live. Okay. Well, now there's that. King has to move. Okay. Yeah, I feel like black had a very winning position, and then he just kind of let it go. It's a little more risky than it has to be, I feel like. But with this many pieces, he's probably feeling pretty confident, but isn't this very epaulette? Like, no, this wasn't epaulette. Was this epaulette? Yeah. And then if it was here, that'd be the dovetail, or the swallow's tail. So yeah, this is epaulette's mate. I think I can just do bishop to, or I mean queen to a6. Knight can't defend because of this pin. There's no square for him to run to. Pawn can't move. Yeah. Huh. Okay. That was interesting. Don't know what this was about. Was this to open a square at some point? Oh. Wow, if black had just played the taken that bishop, there would be no threat at all because you couldn't do knight to d4 after that. Weird. Yeah, as soon as that bishop came, just take it away. Just keep on defending your king side. You don't have to even do anything. Like this rook move, I'm not sure what anybody would say about this. Anyway, I said that I was curious about what the trainer would say about this game. What is this? Play with the computer. Continue training. Here's the puzzle number. How do I get to the real board analysis for this? Do I just click on this? Whoop. No, it just went to the puzzle again. That's not what I wanted. Let's just close that. Go back here. From game. Is this the game? Yes. Alright. So what is this opening called that white played? The Nimzo-Larsen attack. Classical variation. Wow. Talk about uninspiring. JK. Not played that often, apparently. 2 games from this point. Okay, a bit more games from this point. Huh. Is there some kind of move that black can make to punish us? That's so weird. Oh, wow, that's strong. That's super strong. Forcing the knight to move away and blocking this diagonal, I feel like, early on, while controlling this and this square with the knight. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. What an odd opening. I see potential here, I guess. I mean, it doesn't seem terrible on white's side. You're giving a lot of options for black, though. A lot of control. I don't think black utilized the control as much as he could have. And then he just didn't defend at the end. Yeah, that rook move was terrible. Just take it. Is this bad? Evens out. Not that bad. Okay. Yeah, there's no real threat here anymore. Uh-huh. Deka. Yeah, it evens out to a better black game. Just, you have bishop. This is kind of scary, but I don't think it's that bad. Anyway, that was interesting. I think I closed my puzzle tab, so seems like a good place to end it with a weird-ass game. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for looking at a bunch of rando games with me. And, yeah, thanks for learning about chess more with me. Am I getting better? I don't know. I feel like maybe at this point we should do some kind of test to see if I am better. My game ranking hasn't gotten better in a while. I've been teetering on the border of 1400 in bullet. But I need to play more rapid. I need to play much longer time periods. So I think maybe what we'll do... Next time is I'll make a fool of myself and we'll play a real rapid game and we'll take notes and we'll read the board and we'll see everything that's going on. Yes, 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 yes. So yes, next video. Expect a game. Possibly. Probably. Probably most definitely. I'll probably make the video today actually. So yes, I will play a game. Next video will be a real game on Lichess. We'll have fun. Yes, we'll have fun. I'll see you later. Goodbye!